In this video, I'm going to show you creating a SDI application called Message Handle project. After creating the Message Handle project, this is a single document interface application. After creating the single document interface application, we are going to handle two messages. One is WM L button up and another one is WM R button up. So this L button up stands for WM stands for Windows message. L button up is a left button up. That means when mouse left button is up, this message will be sent to the Windows. To our SD application. Similarly, when R button is pressed and released, this message will get sent to the view class of the application. After providing handler for these two messages, then we are going to add code for that. And in the code, I'm going to explain two things. One is handling the message, and another one is how the window updates takes place, and what is the significance of InvalidateRect. Right. First, we will go through this first step. That means we will create a message handle SDI project. Before we go, an SDI is a single document interface application. Let us take this notepad. We can say this notepad is also a kind of a SDI application. Here I can open only one document at a time. That means if I click new, if I click file open, a new document will get opened, but the present document will get closed. That means only one document can be presented here. So that's why we call this as a SDI, single document interface application. This outer frame is called the frame. Follow this mouse cursor. This is what called a frame. A typical frame window can consist of a document title, which is here in the top left window, and in the top right we will see these three window buttons. Then there may be a menu which is attached to the frame window, and there may be some toolbars, and there may be a status bar. Okay, first we will create a message handle project. I will copy this project name into clipboard. Next I am opening Microsoft Visual Studio. So the project is opened here. The Visual Studio is opened. Once Visual Studio is opened, I click on File, New, Project. So in the displayed window, under the project types, we have to choose Visual C++. If Visual C++ is not appearing here, you have to choose other languages. Then you have to pick Visual C++ from this list. Since during the initial installation of the Visual Studio, I have chosen Visual C++ as the preferred language, so that's coming here. So if you have chosen Visual C++ as a preferred one, that will come in the top. So whatever, first expand this Visual C++, then click on MFC. After that, click MFC application. If you need, you can change this location. Use the browse button to change the location. So in this location, the project will get created. So first I am giving a project name. As you remember, I already copied the project name from the notepad to the clipboard. Now I'm pasting it here. So this is the project name I'm going to create, and make sure the create directory for solution is checked. So it will create a folder for our project. That means the folder name will be message handle, and all the project files will go into that folder name. Right, I will click OK. Once I click OK, a wizard will get opened. So this is the first wizard page. Here it is saying the default project settings, or the current project settings, are multiple document interface, no database, and no compound document support. So we need to create a SDI application. So we will go through this wizard. If you see in the application type, it is showing multiple documents. So I'm clicking a single document. Then I'm clicking next. So here no changes required. So I'm clicking next. In the document template strings, no changes required. So I'm clicking next. Here also no change required. Click next. In the user interface feature, we will accept the default. So I'll click next here also. Advanced feature also, I don't want to change anything, so I will click next. Here if you see, once I click finish, these 4 classes will be generated by this class wizard. I mean the application wizard. So one is a mainframe. I think you now know what is a mainframe. So I explained that with the notepad, the outer frame with the menu and toolbar and status bar all are related to C mainframe. Then there is a document and view class. We will deal more about document later. So this view class is used to show something on the screen. Suppose let's go back to the notepad. If you see here, this client area, I will highlight that. We call this as a client area. So this client area is usually attached to a view. So here in this case, in the view class, what I'm showing is I'm showing the drawing of these fonts. I mean each letter is actually a drawing. So here we are drawing these characters so that we can read something in this document. Right, let me minimize this. So the project is now ready. I'll click finish. Before I click finish, if you click on each class name, you can see some other detail. At present I selected a C message handle view. The class name is displayed here, and then it shows the associated header file and CPP file. Also it shows the message handle view is derived from C view. There are a lot of other view classes. We will see that later in some other video. So let's go with the default C view. Similarly, if I choose C message handle app, this is an application instance, you can see the class name and other header file and CPP file, and from which class it is derived from. The same thing goes for other classes also. There is a tooltip also. Right. So let me click finish. So it will generate the project files for us. Now we are in the project, and you can see there are multiple project files created by the wizard. All the header files are grouped under header files, and resource files are grouped under resource files. and source files are grouped under source folder, source files folder. So at this stage, I can even build and run the application. Before we handle the message, we will build the application, and before that, we will understand some of the tabs here in the bottom. The Solution Explorer shows all the files, and in the class view, you can see all the classes. Once you click the class, you can see the members that belongs to the class. So I just clicked see message handle app, and it shows 5 members, and all the 5 members are functions. If I click see mainframe, you can see all the member function as well as member variables. So if we see, it has a CWin status bar and CWin toolbar. As I already told you, C mainframe comes with document title, menu, status bar, and toolbar. Right. Okay. If you navigate to a particular function, just click here. Say for example, if you want to go to in the view class, if you want to go to onDraw member function, I can double click that, and I can easily navigate to that particular member function, and you can see the file name also here. Right. Okay, let me go ahead and build the project. I'm moving to Solution Explorer, then I'm right clicking and I'm choosing rebuild, or I can choose it from here under the build menu. So here you can see the rebuild is progressing and it got succeeded. To run the application, just click this play button. So this is the SDI application. As we saw in the notepad, we can able to see document title, minimize, resize, and close buttons are there in the top right. Then you can see a status bar here. Follow the cursor, so you can see a status bar. So here this numlock, if I press the numlock button in the keyboard, you can see that it's toggling. Similarly, the caps lock also handled by the MFC framework itself. If you see, we doesn't write any code, but we can see some functionality in the window. Also, there is a menu attached to this frame window, and there is some toolbar. So now I'll close. So what we are going to do here, when I left click the mouse, we are going to draw a blue rectangle here, and when I right click, we are going to draw a green rectangle. That means the green rectangle will replace the blue rectangle. So this is the goal here. So to do that, we need to handle the message, right? Why? Because when something happens, a drawing should appear here. So what that something is a left mouse button click. That's one thing. The other thing is a right mouse button click. Also, when drawing happens, it happens in the top left portion. That's how we are going to draw. And okay, when I go through the code, I will explain more. So at present, this is sufficient enough. Okay, now we completed the first step. I will mark it as done here. Now let us move to the second stage. Here I am going to add two handle. One is WM L button up and another one is WM R button up handlers. To add this handler, First we have to decide where we want to handle that. I can even handle in document, or I can even handle it in view, or in app, or in mainframe. So here I want to handle the L button up and down in the view. That means since user is going to click left or right on this client area, and the client area is associated to the view, I am picking view as a suitable class to handle that. So right click this, then choose properties. So this opens a property window for the view class. Here I am moving to the messages button in the top. Why? Because the left mouse button and right mouse button releases or sent as a Windows message. So just click and you can see all the messages that can be handled by this view class. So now let me go down and choose WM L button up. So first I will click on this message, and you will see the description for this message. So it states WML button up indicates when left mouse button is released. Alright, that's what it states. That means when left mouse button is released, this window message will be sent to our application, then it will be routed to see message handle view. So there is a message routing also that I'll explain later. For now, if you provide a handler in view class, the message get handled in the view class. That means what are the functionality we want to provide in the view, that we can provide. Here we want to draw something on the view. That's why I'm handling this in the view class. So click on the down arrow and you can see add a handler for on L button. Our handler for WML button up. The handler name is on L button up. So if I click this, a handler will get added. So now let me go to the, I'm double clicking this class name so that class definition also opened. And if you see, there is a star mark here. That means this file also get changed, and message handle view CPP file also got changed. And once we click that add on L button up in the property window, we directly came here, right, on this handler. Before the adding some code here, we will go and see what is the change made here on the header file. If we see in the header file, the Visual Studio IDE added a declaration for this AFX message void on L button up. So this is the one we asked in the property window, add on L button up. So it provided a method signature or a member function get added to the see message handle view. If I come to CPP file, you will see an entry here on WL button up. This is the message we are handling, WML button up, and the linking handler for this message goes here in the bottom of the file. Right, we handled we provided a handler for one message, we will add the other one. So I'm choosing properties, then moving to messages. You see on L button up is showing up. That means um, once you open up the property for a class, you can see all the handlers provided so far. So here we provided handler for WML button up, and R button up is not yet provided, so we will provide that now. WMR button up, and I'm choosing on R button up. And if you see, that's also get added here. You can see the entry here, and you can also see the R button up handler here. Okay, at this stage, I can even put a breakpoint here and test before proceeding with the next step. So I'll ask for a rebuild. So rebuild is going on. Okay, now I am running this. So let me do the left click and let's confirm whether it is hitting the breakpoint. Okay, that means it get handled. Once I click on the view, we are hitting this breakpoint. That means the message get handled. Right, let me run it and close. So I will arc handling the handler is done. So far we added a so far we created a project, then we added 2 message handlers. Now we will start adding the code. First I will declare a member variables in the view class. So I'm switching to view class. So at the end here I will add those 2 private members. I'll add this comment also. Right. Now our class has 2 members, and if I click here we can see these 2 members. One is MBlueRect and another one is MRect update area. BlueRect and update area. So we will use this BlueRect to track what color rectangle we need to draw in the view. So when this boolean variable is set to true, we are going to draw a blue rectangle. When it is set false, we will draw a rectangle in a green color. Right. So this rectangle is used to specify the clipping region. This clipping region is useful to specify which portion of the window we want to draw. So once we go along with this example, you will get more picture on this particular variable. Why? Because this we are going to use in the InvalidateRect, and we will see more about InvalidateRect shortly. That's all. Now we added 2 member variable here. Now we will go and add the other part of the code. Second, in the constructor, we are initializing these 2 members. So I'm once again clicking the view in the class view, Then I'm searching for the constructor here. So here is the constructor. See message handle view. Double click this. So here I will remove this existing comment and place our code. So first I initialize the Yamansko blue rect as true in the constructor. That means when the window is initially opened, um, the window knows that it should draw a blue rectangle. Why? Because this flag is set true by default. We are going to toggle this, not toggle, we are going to change this boolean variable to false when right mouse button get clicked. So we know that we already have a handler code for that. We will add that shortly. Now let's move to the second portion of the code. Here I am defining the rectangle. This rectangle, as I already told, is used to define the clipping region. So at this stage I can build and show this again. Let me run it. Let me resize this window so that we can see the code as well as window at the same time. Right. So when I run the application, it appears like this. So here what I am saying, I'm defining a clipping region. In the clipping region rectangle, I'm saying top is 5 pixel and left is 5 pixel. That means the top left corner of the rectangle I am defining with these two members, top and left. So this is the origin. From here, assume follow the mouse cursor, 5 pixel on the left, then 5 pixel from top. That means from this origin 5 pixel left and 5 pixel top. Alright, I'm going to click the mouse now. You will see where is the top left now. Right, then we defined bottom and right as 170 pixel. Once again it goes from the top, approximately 170 is here. From the origin, the right is here defined as 170, then bottom is 170. That means the bottom of the rectangle. 170 will come somewhere here. So bottom right is defined from the origin like this. I will click again. This is the 170 location. If you see, the clipping region is somewhere from here to here. Right. So this is how at present we defined the clipping region and we initialized that in the constructor. Also we set the rectangle flag also in the constructor. Let's move to the next portion of the code. So now let's draw the rectangle and test that before providing the handler code. So this I am going to add in the onDraw handler. Before we, so the code is already in the clipboard. Before that I will explain something here. So the onDraw get called whenever a window requires a redraw. Once again, let me rebuild. If I run, Just think about I had drawn some drawing here in the window. Instead of here, I can even explain this with the notepad. If you see the client content which is already drawn here. So when a redraw occurs when I move the window from one location to another location. That means the content needs to be redrawn, right? Why? Because in relation to this top left corner of my desktop, the Windows location get changed. That means something is drawn in the window needs to be redrawn. Or even if I resize this window, if you see some redraw happening, right? So here also it will get redrawn. When I minimize and maximize it, a redraw required. Or even if I stack some other window on top of it, let's see, this also requires some redraw, right? Why? Because I am hiding the content of the window. So redraw actually takes place on this Windows Explorer only. Once I move the Windows Explorer, then portion of this client area requires redraw. So these are all the ways a window will be redrawn, or these are all the cases in which redraw required and the onDraw get called. You can put a trace message or some message boxes here to know when and all this onDraw gets called. Okay, let's add the piece of code, and if you see, let me build this. Um, okay, here the wizard by default provides this as a commented one. So let me accept the same name parameter name provided by the wizard. I will build it again. So this time it got succeeded. Now in the onDraw I am defining a rectangle which is top 10, left 10, bottom 160 and right 160. If you see, I'm drawing this rectangle within the clipping region which we already defined. Let's say first I defined a clipping region which is 5, 5 and 170, 170. Then I'm setting the size of the rectangle like this: top left 10, 10. This is 5, 5 and here it is 10, 10. And instead of 170, 170, I'm defining it as 160, 160. That means I'm drawing the rectangle inside this clipping region, right? That's how I defined the rectangle. So let me close this paintbrush. That's how I defined the rectangle. This is the rectangle we are going to draw. Next, we are checking the Boolean flag. At this stage, you know that the member is true, so it will come here and it will always draw a solid rect with a blue color. So PDC is passed as a member here, which is useful for drawing. If you see, there will be a lot of drawing function in the PDC member. So arc2, you can see a lot of drawing functions. draw 3D rect, draw rect, draw edge, draw focus rect. There will be a lot of stuff. Focus rect is kind of putting a dotted line. Usually in the button, you can see that when a focus is on a button, a fancy dotted line rectangle appears, right? That's what a focus rect. Okay, we will leave that now. Here I am making a call to fill solid rect. That means this function will draw a rectangle. Also, it fills the rectangle with a color. So here I am passing this rect structure or a rect class. So this rect will tell the PDC the dimension the fill solid rect needs to use to draw the rectangle. Next, I am passing a RGB macro. That means I am specifying a color here by making use of a macro RGB. So which defines red, green, blue. So you can see in the tooltip, as define RGB. First one is R, second one is G, third one is blue. That means here I am giving 0, 0 and 255. That means blue is 255 with full intensity. So this will draw a blue rectangle. So in the else portion, I am drawing a green rectangle. Why? Because the green component is full intensity, 255. Others are 0, 0. That means it will draw a green rectangle. But when will it will draw a green rectangle? When the blue Boolean member is false, it will draw a green rectangle. Right. Now I will build this project. So no error, no warning. Now I will run. This time you will see a blue rectangle get drawn. Why? Because once a window displays, it needs to draw the rectangle, right? It needs to update the client area. So in this override Andra, I provided a drawing code. If you see Notepad, they do handle the keyboard press events, and based on what key pressed, they start drawing the character in the client area based on the default font for the Notepad, right? Similarly, here instead of drawing a character, I am drawing a rectangle by making use of the DC function, client device context. CDC stands for, right? If you see, blue rectangle is drawn, and if you remember, there is a clipping region here which is not shown here. You have to imagine, just imagine the Notepad which I already, sorry, the MS Paint which I already shown you. So this blue rectangle is overlapped by a clipping region. We will see the usage of clipping region soon. At present you can see a blue rectangle is drawn, and this view can handle the left and right mouse button also, but we doesn't write any code on that, so we don't see anything happening here. So I will do left click once and right click once, so nothing happens. I will exit and we will start adding the code for those two handlers. So I will mark rectangle drawing as done. So we are going to the last portion of our MFC SDI application. Here we are going to provide handler for those two message handlers that we already provided. So first I will, or I can copy both to the clipboard, then we will remove the one in the handler. There are two ways we can go to that handle. First click on view, and if you remember, there is on L button up and on R button up. So if you double click, you can navigate to that function. I will do that once. If you can see, I navigated to that function. Or I can right click, choose properties, go to the messages. There are two handlers we are seeing, right? On R button up, and if I scroll somewhat further, on L button up. If you see, there are two alternatives here. One is I can edit the code, or I can even delete the handler. When I click it for the first time, you saw add on L button up. Now we see two. One is delete and modify. That means edit code. So let me click edit code. Now also we will come here. In the class view, we will see all the functions. But in the messages tab, if we are searching for a specific message handler, we can easily pick it up on this, and we can easily navigate. This will be useful when there is a big application with a lot of message get handled. Right. So now we will start adding the code. Okay. So when L button is up, we are setting this blue rect as true. We know that this is the default, and this is what we done in the constructor also. Then we are making call to InvalidateRect, and we are also passing the rectangular clipping region here, which we also defined that in the constructor. So we'll talk about this clipping region shortly. Now I will add the code for this R button also. Right. So do not delete this C view on L button up. If you see, initially when we created the wizard, in the last step we saw that the C message handle view is derived from C view. That means here in this handler we are making call to on L button up on L button up on the C view class also. Okay. So in the on R button up also I am doing the same thing. But here the only significant difference is I am setting this blue rect as false. Right. So that means when Android get called after the on R button up, then we will be drawing a green rectangle. Right. Now let's go to what is the significance of this InvalidateRect. So this InvalidateRect tells which area needs to be redrawn. That's why it is asking for a structure, rectangular structure or CRECT class, which defines the structure in terms of top, left, bottom, right. Now we are sending the clipping region to the InvalidateRect, and the InvalidateRect will erase the background that belongs to this clipping region. It won't erase all the other areas. It only erases the background defined by this particular clipping region. Then when undraw happens, the undraw also done on this area. Right. Now we will run the application. Before that, I will tell the flow. Once we left click on the view class, the message get handled. So once the message get handled, we are setting the flag as true. Then we are making call to InvalidateRect. This, and we are passing the structure also. Then
The InvalidateRect is a MFC framework function. Um, this will send a WM paint message to the message queue, and after making a series of call in the MFC framework itself, the call finally ends at Andhra. So in the Andhra, or while we are in the Andhra, we know that the blue rect is already set by this event. So we are drawing the blue rect. When we click the right mouse button, the same thing is happening. We are making call to invalidate rect. WM paint message is sent, and it will deliver to the view class, and then we will make a, I mean the framework will make a call to Andhra. Then when Andhra is get called, the blue rect is set false. So we will go to the else portion of the Andhra, and we are ending up drawing the green rectangle there, right? So if we see Andhra here, that's what it happens, right? It acts an m underscore blue rect, and m underscore blue rect is toggled, not toggled. M underscore blue rect is set as true in the L button app, and in the R button app it is set as false. That means whenever you click a R mouse button, you will see a green rectangle. Whenever you click a left mouse button, you will see a blue rectangle. So this explains you the message handling. Now let me rebuild it. Okay, you see rebuild is succeeded. Now I will run the application. So see, here is a blue rectangle. Now I am going to do a right click. You can differentiate left and right click by the sound uh, given by this recording. So first I will do the left click. It will be in the blue rect only. Now I will do the right click. You see, I will do the left click again, then do the right click now. That's all. So here the message is handled, and that's why the client area is drawn differently. Now in the InvalidateRect, if you see, we are not redrawing this portion, we are only drawing the clipping region portion, right? Okay, now let me close. To further explain the clipping region, I will go and define this clipping region as 100. Let me once again open the paintbrush. Let's say this is my, we will assume that this is our rectangle drawn. Previously, follow the cursor. The clipping region is here, 5, 5, 170, 170. Now, the clipping region is, I'm drawing it in a red color. The location is once again same in the top left, but now it is 100, 100. It's some like this I'm defining the clipping region. So now what happens? Only the area surrounded by this red rectangle will get redrawn. So now we will experiment this clipping region with the help of left and right mouse button click. That means when I launch the application, this rectangle will be drawn in blue. When I do the right click, only this portion get redrawn. The background get erased, and then a drawing appears here. That means you will see green rectangle here. Follow the cursor. You'll see the green rectangle here, and this portion remains untouched. That means in effect you will see a green here and a blue here. Let's experiment that. So I changed the clipping region. I will rebuild this. Now I will run the application. Now I will do the right click Remember, now the clipping region is changed. It was shown in the paintbrush. I'm going to do the right click now. If you see, only this portion get redrawn. So I hope now you understand what is a clipping region, right? That's all in this video. I will close it now. The main aim of the video is you to make understand how a message is handled. Uh, Clipping region and all you do not need to worry about now. That's all. Thank you for watching. Bye.